Hi, I'm Amy Stewart. I'm the author of over a dozen books, including 4 New York Times bestsellers. I've written historical fiction, memoir, literary nonfiction, and those books have sold over 1 million copies worldwide, and they've been translated into 17 languages. You know, every year I go on a book tour where I speak to audiences at bookstores, libraries, universities, museums, and at all these events, somebody in the audience always raises their hand and they ask me some version of this question. You know, they say, I have an idea for a book, but I don't know where to start. So what should I do? And I get it. You know, it's daunting. I mean, how do you go from, an idea to a 300-page book? Even the most experienced authors find this process to be messy, confusing, and, well, really just different every time. And the truth is, there's no one right way to begin this journey. So what I can do is I can tell you what's worked for me. The first thing I'll do is I'll show you how I go about generating ideas and just getting those ideas down on paper. It sounds obvious that you should write down your ideas, but I like to have a process. I like to know when I start, how the process is going to go, and how I'm going to know when I'm finished with that stage and ready to move on to the next thing. So we're going to do that first. Next, I'll talk to you about how to put those ideas into some kind of order, like how to begin to shape your story. Now, when it comes to storytelling techniques, there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, I have taken ideas from Aristotle, I've taken ideas from the musical Hamilton, and pretty much everything in between. Now, this applies whether you're writing fiction, nonfiction, memoir, even a self-help book, even a professional manual. We can all benefit from exploring some of these tried and true storytelling methods. So I'm going to give you examples of how my own writing students have worked with these techniques to shape their stories. And finally, I'm going to leave you with a whole bunch of suggestions for just how to develop good writing habits and stick with them. Because writing a book is such a long-term project, and it's all about sticking with it and finding ways to stay engaged all the way through the process. Now, I can't get you all the way to a finished book in one short course. This is really about that very first stage, when you're getting your ideas down on paper for the first time and you're figuring out what the shape of your story should be. What comes after this, writing a full draft, a second draft, a third draft, rewriting, revising, editing, that's all the subject of another class. But the first thing we do is we open the door and we begin this journey. You've probably heard the writer E.L. Doctorow said this amazing quote. He said, "Writing is like driving at night in the fog. You can only see as far as your headlights, but you can make the whole trip that way." And by the end of this class, I want you to be on the road. So, are you ready? Okay, gather up some index cards and let's get going.